On December 11 of 2025, a plaintiff's notice was filed in the case of Mizkif versus Emiru, OTK, etc. This notice basically said and exposed to the court that Emiru and OTK/Starforge Systems were deleting evidence or possible evidence. On this notice, the lawyers of Mizkif basically are communicating to the court and to the lawyers of the other party that they know that Emiru, OTK, and all of the people involved have wiped a PC. They have destroyed possible evidence, and they have to do this essentially because this is the way they start to notify the court and the lawyers of the other party, of the defendants, that they in the future are going to seek to see this evidence, to see what was destroyed, what was wiped from this PC. Now, I am not making this up. Here is a clip of Emiru admitting to sending her PC to be wiped, and she says it with her own words.
Oh my god, okay, so this is gonna sound schizo, but I promise it's true. People keep fucking trying to get into my computer, so I sent my computer back to Starforge to be wiped, and they gave me 2 new PCs so I can do a setup where I have one PC that's only for streaming, and I have one PC that's only for like my banking stuff and my Discord and stuff. So they're completely separate, but I've got 2 PCs under here now, and one of them, oh my god, Starforge fucking hooked me up, bro. They gave me the ultimate. It has a 5090, and I'm gonna use it to play TFT and League of Legends and Megabonk. Sorry, Starforge. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So wait, Starforge typed, haha, it's okay.
Now, as you can see, she admits sending her PC back to Starforge Systems, and who owns Starforge Systems? OTK, essentially. And we all know who owns OTK, and Emiru is co-owner of OTK and hence of Starforge Systems. The excuse she gives is that people are trying to hack her computer. But here is the thing, there is no excuse that is acceptable at this point when you are already in a lawsuit. If you are facing a lawsuit, you have the obligation to keep everything intact. It is really funny because the Emiru simps, the people that hate Mizkif, they were saying that Mizkif was the one that was going to wipe his PC. And 3 Doritos later, what do we see? It's Emiru and OTK the ones engaging in the destruction of possible evidence. Nobody is talking about this, so I have to make a brief video about this, and I will also take this opportunity to give my opinion on the matter. While I don't believe Mizkif is an angel, I don't believe this guy is a little innocent creature. I do believe he is in fact a shitty boyfriend. He probably is really an abusive person, but not on the length that Emiru wants to portray him. I don't believe so. Contrary to what simps like Asmongold and other people say, it is not very rare that men, especially men with power, men with money, are being falsely accused of sexual abuse and other kinds of abuse. It's not very rare. They are trying to gaslight you into making you believe that these kind of false accusations are uncommon. They are not uncommon. And like I said, they are more common the more these men have power or have money. So in the case of Mizkif, I do believe that he is being falsely accused. They both describe, in essence, this issue, this problem, at its core is that Emiru, basically when she came out and made all these allegations against Mizkif, she is trying to frame him as a sexual abuser. She never specifically says that, but the way she navigated around these allegations, the way she framed everything, was made to make Mizkif look like a sexual abuser, essentially. They both describe the same action, they both say the same thing happened, but they gave their own version of the same story, which is one case. The only thing that really matters is that Emiru says Mizkif tried to basically abuse her while she was crying. She was apparently accepting that he was kissing her because he tried to comfort her because she was crying. and she describes that Mizkif tried to go further. I'm not going to specify the details, but she says he tried to do something, and when she got scared, she screamed, he jumped off, and he left. Mizkif more or less described the same situation, but he never specifies what he did to her, and I don't think he will ever say that, because who the fuck knows what really happened on that interaction. What I can tell you is that I don't think that situation, that interaction was a sexual assault interaction. I don't think so. I don't think that interaction can be framed as sexual abuse. They were both consenting adults. They were both consented to having that interaction, and when Mizkif tried to go further, Emiru rejected him and he stopped, as he should. He should have stopped, and he did. So where is the issue? Maybe he's a weirdo for trying to do something on a maybe weird situation where you shouldn't try to go further on things when a woman is crying, maybe, but that's her own words. How do we know that she is not making that up either? How do we know that she isn't making up that she was crying? How do we know that? We don't, and that's the problem. We don't know, and we will never know what happened. So essentially, if you are choosing to believe Emiru or you are choosing to believe Mizkif, it's a choice that you are making based on a bias, and you're free to do so. So if you want to be a simp for Emiru, go ahead. I choose to believe men. I choose to believe Mizkif, and not because I watch him, not because I am actually a fanboy or a fanatic of him. Not really. In reality, I don't even watch him, but I am tired of this false accusation against men. I am tired of the weaponization of the court system to hurt men. And one that says that is also tired of this is Asmongold, but every time, it's very funny, but every time one of these things, one of these type of cases, one of these situations arise around him, he acts like a simp. He acts and gives the benefit of the doubt to the women, and not only gives the benefit of the doubt, which there is nothing wrong with that. What he does is immediately gives all the credibility to the women and completely throws down the bus the version of the man. Remember what he did to Rich Campbell. Just remember that. He is always like that. He's a simp. And funnily enough, he is involved in this lawsuit. And do you know why? It's because he is conspiring against Mizkif with the other members of OTK. I don't know if each one of them are involved, but I don't know that Asmongold is. And I do believe that Asmongold is the one that is advising Emiru of everything that she is doing right now, and that includes wiping her PC. If there was evidence on that computer, what they are going to try to do, and I foresee this is what is going to happen, they are going to claim that they no longer have this PC or the parts of this PC, essentially the hard drives. They are going to say they no longer have them. What they are also going to do is that they are going to destroy them. They are not only going to wipe them, they are going to completely destroy them, because they can try to hide them, but they could find them with serial numbers and shit like that. I do believe, but I do believe also that they know this and they are going to destroy them, literally destroy them, and they are going to say that it is a company policy, and that's the end game of Asmongold. That is what he planned. He planned to completely destroy these hard drives, this PC. Whatever was on that PC, it was so bad that they had to go to the lengths to try to lie to the court, to the judge. That is how bad things were on that PC. And you can't make the excuse that you didn't know, because as the plaintiff's notice says, they were aware of the lawsuit by that time. So there is no excuse. You cannot feign that you didn't know, because you knew. There is also another thing that I believe is that it's very coincidental, too much of a coincidence, that Emiru was assaulted at TwitchCon, and maybe like a week later she comes out and says all these allegations against Mizkif. Now, call me schizophrenic, call me a schizo if you want, but I do kind of find funny, and I do believe there is a possibility that the whole TwitchCon assault was made up bullshit. Not that it didn't happen, more like it was planned. So call me a schizo if you want, but I have my doubts that what happened at TwitchCon, it's even a genuine interaction. It could be an act. It could be have been pre-planned. Who knows? I am not going to say that, oh, it was 100% was fake. No, but I do have certain suspicion. Anyway, the thing is that A week later, even though if that truly happened, the way they say it happened, I do believe that Asmongold and whoever is involved in OTK saw that as an opportunity and said, you know what, this is the time. This is the time to shit and destroy Mizkif. This is the time to kick him out of OTK and make him pay us a shit ton of money. And we can have his shares. Because all of this, in essence, is not about sexual abuse or whatever the fuck. It's not about that. It's about stealing the shares and the money of Mizkif. It's about kicking him out of OTK and stealing his assets. The sexual abuse allegation is a cherry on top. A cherry on top that is going to hurt him a lot. And it's hurting him a lot. This is why he filed a lawsuit. And he's doing the right thing. Because if he doesn't do it, they are going to get away with this shit. And they shouldn't. And the fact that this is what a not normie and not NPC person thinks. The moment he filed the lawsuit, you should have changed your mind and said, you know what, I think this guy is onto something. I don't believe that someone that has everything against him is going to file a lawsuit because he's going to lose, unless he's fucking crazy. But I don't think so. I believe Mizkif is filing a lawsuit because he and his lawyer spoke and they know they have a strong case. And with this shit, OTK, Emiru, Asmongold and all of them wiping a PC, they are giving him an even stronger case. They are giving him a victory on a silver platter. This is how bad things are in society for men. Simping needs to be classified as a mental disorder because this simping, it's only creating a completely hostile environment for men. Society is completely hostile to men these days. And this happened because of simps, because they keep giving privilege to women. It goes without saying that you shouldn't harass or go and attack these people, the people involved in this case. I am just making this video to share this information that nobody's talking about. Nobody's saying that Emiru, OTK, Starforge Systems, Asmongold are wiping a PC. Nobody is saying this. And you know why nobody's saying this? Because they already choose to believe the women. Just because she's a woman. It's fucking absurd. And because their favorite streamer, Asmongold, is involved. So, and he can do no wrong. Never mind that he constantly on his streams is telling to you, to his audience, that you should lie, cheat and deceive. And the ABC, always be cheating.
We used to just, bro, this is the reason why, like, whenever I see people lying, I always can tell. Is because I do that all the time. Like, I've always been, like, one of those people, right? Where, like, I would try to, like, you know, fucking move things in my favor. I lie to people all the time. I was a kid. That's how I can see it. That's how I know it. Because I know it because I do it. I know it because I've been doing it for a while. Like, I've been doing it for my whole life. I was lying and shit when I was 5 years old. I was breaking my instruments, guilt-tripping my teachers, telling them that I couldn't afford a new one. And then, because I didn't want to play a musical instrument in music class in 3rd and 4th grade, bro. Like, I've been in this for the love of the game for my whole life. And I see these people that are casuals getting into it. And a lot of these girls, like, y'all don't know how to do it. Y'all don't know how to manipulate people. You don't know how to lie. Like, bro, like, lying to people on the internet, making shit up on the internet, like, lying, just in general. This was like my job for like 20 years, okay? So I know a lot about this. Lying to you. I've lied to people my whole life. People that think that they're really smart, no, they're not. It's easy. So all you have to do is figure out how a person's brain works, and then you can figure out how to manipulate them. It's very easy. Lie about everything. Lie on your resume, lie in your interview, lie in your tutorial, lie while you're doing your job, lie about your job, lie about why you should be promoted. Just lie about everything. Just make the whole thing up. And the only time you don't do that is if it's against the law. You have to look up, make sure you don't break the law. But other than that, you should misrepresent and lie about as many things as you possibly can. My best advice is always lie, never reveal your power level, never share your true intentions, always manipulate, never tell the truth until it's time to vote or to exercise that power in a way that is in your benefit. Always lie. Always lie. Just literally tell them whatever they need to hear.
He's a scoundrel. He's a scumbag. And you are choosing to believe a scumbag that to your face, or at the very least to your monitor, he's saying to you that you should lie and cheat. And he has always lied and cheated and deceived people. He always tells you how he manipulates and how he enjoys manipulating people. He's a literal psychopath. He has admitted so himself. It runs in his family. His dad was diagnosed with psychopathy, and his granddad, he doesn't even have any memories with his granddad, because according to him, his granddad was, what in his own words, a piece of shit, and his dad tried to kill his granddad. That is how bad his granddad was. According to him, I am not making this up, he said that.
And then also, like, he even tried to join these, like, private military mercenary groups. Like, apparently he had to lie on his, what do you call it? He had to lie on his, like, military intake form because they weren't going to take him because they said he was, like, a psychopath. Because they were gonna station him stateside because there were a bunch of, like, protests going on, like now. And they said, would you ever fire on an American citizen? He said, if somebody throws a brick at me, I'm going to shoot them in the face and kill them. And then they sent him to Vietnam. Straight up. And so it was around the Vietnam War? Yeah. Yeah, his psych evaluation. He has a lie in his psych evaluation. And, so that's why I found funny, you know, people saying, like, oh, your dad would be disappointed in you saying this, like, oh, if only you knew. How many memories with your grandfather? Never met him. I heard he was a horrible piece of shit father, and my dad tried to kill him. And so, you know, I never even really talked to him, to be honest with you. I heard he was just a horrible piece of shit, awful person. And, that's about it. On your mom's side? No, he died when I was like 5. It's because I don't really, like, this is going to sound like a psycho thing to say, but, like, a lot of empathy and sympathy and human emotions don't come naturally to me. They just don't. Like, I remember whenever I would hit somebody in the face when I was a kid, I would think that shit was funny, bro. Like, I was like, damn, bitch, that's what you get. That's, gotcha, bitch. And they'd be crying, bleeding. I think that shit is hilarious. And so the way that I've learned the way that other people feel is not through how I feel. It's through how other people feel. And it's through logic and reason. And that's the reason why I think that I'm a better advocate for this, is because I don't see it through the lens of emotion. It's engineered logically. And that's what it is. Huh, you fucking roach? No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, that's actually what it was. And, yeah, did man just admit he's a sociopath? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I am. Like, I don't know. Like, people told me that. Like, they said a lot worse about that than, like, they said a lot worse about that than me. Like, I mean, that's what it was. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, like, you know, I don't really think that I'm that crazy. I think the world is crazy, if you want me to be honest. I think the world is crazy, and I'm the only one that's not crazy. So, you know, like, that's it. And that's sort of how psychopaths operate. Well, either way, that's what makes me the most virtuous person.
So to me that just proves again that his granddad also had psychopathic traits, and I do believe Asmongold has psychopathic traits too. And it's not only a belief, I know it for a fact because I have seen him, I have analyzed his behavior, and you are choosing to believe a psychopath. This is how dumb you people are. This is how dumb you are. It's in your face, and you still choose to believe their side because you are fanatics. You are fanatics, and this is why in my channel I expose fanaticism, because fanaticism destroys your rational thinking, your critical thinking skills, your pattern recognition abilities. Everything about your intellect, which is the best thing you have as a human being, is completely destroyed by being a fanatic, because being a fanatic makes you emotional, and people that get too emotional, and I am not saying you shouldn't be emotional, because as human beings we have emotions and those are important too, but when you allow these emotions to overwhelm you, to control you, it's when you are going to fail. It's when your entire being is going to be transformed into an irrational being, and as a human being you should aspire to be a rational, intellectual being, not an animal, because intellect is the only thing that separates us from animals.